In loads of, obviously there's loads of pundits at the moment talking football, and rightfully so. Listen, it's the premier sporting competition in the world. Everybody's talking about it, whether it's you in the pub, whether it's the people on the telly, podcasts around the world, all this type of stuff. Everybody's got an opinion at the moment, and I suppose that's why you tune into talkSPORT, for that expert, elite, fun opinion connected to the World Cup. I've seen a few people now, right, and this is maybe a social media thing more so than people on the telly, but I've seen people on social media saying, oh wow, we've got to. This is the best chance ever for England now to go and win the World Cup. This is a phenomenal opportunity. Germany are out. Belgium, the world number 2, they're out. They're gone. We don't have to deal with them. Listen, did you watch these teams play in the World Cup? I would have happily welcomed Germany onto the pitch at any 100%. Particular point. Belgium, come on, lads. You want a game against us? We'll have a game against you.
Semi-finals, come on.
All day long. Just so, in case you've got confused with everything here, we're taking on the AFCON Nations Champions on Sunday. Yeah, all right, they ain't got the Premier player, but they're still the champions. They've still won the African Cup of Nations, these lads, right?
Came second out of a tough group.
That's right. If, and it's a big if we beat them, highly likely, we're going to take on France. They've just done the World Cup, yeah? They kind of know what they're doing. If we beat them, we might then have to take on Spain or maybe even Portugal, who are both hotly tipped to actually go on and actually win this tournament. And if we manage to get through them, see them Brazilian lads, yeah?
Argentina or Brazil.
We might have to go and do them. So, listen, pump the brakes a touch, yeah? Oh, Germany, you're out. We've got this. What, hey? What are you talking about?
I won't say pump brakes, handbrake.
Just chill for a second, yeah?
See what it means.
Everybody's getting giddy. Don't get too giddy. We've got a big game on Sunday. Now, right at the start of the World Cup, me and you, we've sat here and said, we looked at that group and said, listen, England should navigate this group relatively easy. They should finish top of it. If anything, they should win all the games in that group, and we should be absolutely coasting through to the knockout stages. That has happened. Without winning all the games, we've got 7 points. But that has happened. Now, the attitude from me anyway most certainly changes a touch, because one, it's knockout football, so therefore the approach is not different, but the mentality of this now, you're not allowed a mistake. Here we go. We've got to be absolutely bang on, and the level of competition goes up. As I've just said, yes, people will look to Senegal and they will say, man is out, right? And he didn't win the African Cup of Nations on his own. He's an elite player, and he was in the Ballon d'Or conversation, no doubt about it, and he will be a massive miss for them. But they have several other top quality players, and more importantly, they're a very well organised unit, plenty of energy.
Plenty. In abundance.
We are going to have to be right at it on Sunday, otherwise we'll be on the plane back with everybody else.
Correct. I certainly agree with you. If we thought USA was a rubbish display or a bad performance because they came at us, they had energy, they had pace, well, Senegal will have that, but more. I would say that Senegal are a better team than USA.
100%. There's no doubt in my mind that they're a better team.
So there won't be no sitting back, giving you all the possession of the ball like England are used to having against Iran and Wales.
Yeah.
As soon as a team puts it amongst us, we're not as, expressive. We kind of go in our shell a little bit.
Yeah.
So we will definitely see that side of the game come Senegal.
Right then. Now, this is where we're all going to pick the bones out of it for the next 24, 48 hours. Everybody's got an opinion. For me, I don't see there being too many errors that Gareth Southgate can make with the starting 11 and formation, because at the end of the day, I think the majority of us would go down a similar avenue. He's in a wonderful position regarding personnel with guys that are performing, especially in those high, wide positions. Yep. So it's down to you. I don't think there's a wrong answer for this. But are there for you any absolute musts for the starting 11 on Sunday? Because I think the key thing is going to come down to the in-game changes, which we've been speaking about a lot on this particular show. But when it comes down to starting 11 against Senegal, is there any absolute must that has to happen?
I think maybe it's Rashford, Declan and Jude.
Okay.
On my ones, I say, right, they have to play.
Have to start.
Yeah. Obviously, we know Kane's gonna play. He's gonna, without a shadow of a doubt, he'll be first probably on the list. But alongside them, I would say Rashford, Bellingham and Rice.
Right. I'm going to pick the bones out of a few things here.
Yep.
Okay, not particularly what you just said, but just in general. I was watching the television the other day, and a person I highly respect presenting the coverage on the BBC, Mr. Lineker. Superb footballer in his day, of course, and a superb television presenter, and has probably forgotten more about football than I will ever know. However, one thing that he did say was, we should wrap Kyle Walker up, cotton wool, rest him for the game against Senegal, because we will need him for the game against France, because he's the only guy in world football that can compete pace for pace with Kylian Mbappe. Now, the essence of what he's saying is absolutely true. Kyle Walker has proven, when he's played in the Champions League games against Kylian Mbappe, that he can keep up with him pace for pace. Mbappe's a sensational footballer, and we will need that pace if we were to come up against Kylian Mbappe in a quarter-final scenario. However, this is knockout football. We should not be resting any player whatsoever in order to compensate or think that we are going to get through this challenge and then play in a quarter-final against someone else. That should not happen. Yes, this is a squad. I get that this is a squad. What the first question should be for Gareth Southgate, who are the best 11 players equipped to take on Senegal? I don't care if Kyle Walker's it. If Kyle Walker's the answer, Kyle Walker plays.
Correct.
If you run the risk of him getting injured, because we're not through. We haven't beaten Senegal. We have to go and beat Senegal first. So even the contemplation of resting Kyle Walker just because he's better equipped to take on Mbappe that we might get in the next game is ludicrous to me. I know we've got quality right-backs that could do a job, but are they the right backs to do the job against Senegal? If the answer is no, for me, Kyle Walker's the premier right-back. Yep. He plays. If he's fit, he plays. Now, I've got two other musts for the starting 11, based on what I've seen so far of the three games. The first one, I agree with you on Rashford. Now, people might come at me for Rashford, and they say, well, his finishing's not 100% brilliant. Listen, he's got 3 goals. I appreciate that the keeper dropped 2 in the net the other day. He weren't too good, right? But one thing that Rashford does all the time is when Harry Kane is playing this particular role, dropping short, holding the ball up, linking play, and the way that he's actually kind of taking on a 10 role, really, for England, you need someone to run in behind him and fill that gap. Rashford does that. Guaranteed all the time. Foden doesn't do that all the time. Saka doesn't do that all the time. Sterling does it to an extent, but he doesn't do it all the time. Rashford is 100% thinking, if there's a space there, I'm going into the space because I want to score a goal. And England are going to need those runners from those particular positions. So that is why I personally would say Rashford plays. He's red hot right now. He's tails up, bags of confidence. He's bagged a few goals, and he will fill that gap. So he's my first must. He has to play. Yep. My second must, and you're going to come at me for this. My second must is Jordan Henderson has to play.
Yeah, I'm going to come at you for this.
All right. Now, I'm going to say Jordan Henderson must play. Now, the midfield dynamic that I will play is him, Rice and Bellingham. That's the midfield dynamic that I would play. With all due respect to Mason Mount, right now in this World Cup, he's offered nothing. For me, he's absolutely offered nothing. So he's the one that I sacrifice out of this midfield. I play those 3. And the reason why I play Henderson, 1, leadership, cool head, been there, done it, got the T-shirt at the very highest level. And if it does hit the fan against Senegal, he'll keep them lads calm, which I think is a key element. Secondly, if we're going to play Kyle Walker, I want to see him express himself. I want to see him go forward. I want to see him, attack. I want to see Kyle Walker play his game. So therefore, I want someone like a Jordan Henderson to be able to spot that midfield, see all the gaps and plug the gaps. And I think he's the experienced head that can go about doing that. I'm not saying 2 defensive midfielders. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying Jordan Henderson to play in midfield because I think he has the discipline and the know-how of how to navigate this football game. Let Jude Bellingham be Jude Bellingham. Go and play, mate. Go and dominate this football match like you were dominating the game the other day. Go and do your thing. So the 3 for me, if Kyle Walker's your number 1 right back, he plays. Jordan Henderson plays midfield. And Marcus Rashford has to play, in my opinion. They're my 3 musts for this game on Sunday.
And who have you got right? Saka?
Now.
So where are you playing him?
I have absolutely not... Listen, people heard me last week being so vocal about Phil Foden. So vocal about Phil Foden. The reason why I was so vocal about Phil Foden is that he wasn't used at all. He wasn't used at all. Now, if Gareth Southgate, coming into this match, chooses to go Saka over Foden, I've no problem with it. None. And he plays him off the right-hand side. My problem will be, is if that doesn't work after 45, 60 minutes, he doesn't change it. That will be my problem.
Yeah.
Because Saka's most certainly earned a right to start. Foden's earned a right to start. He's got a horrible selection problem as Gareth Southgate. And I feel for him in that. But he's got to be prepared to accept that maybe the first decision that he makes, because Senegal will set up in a certain way, that decision might not work. So he's got to be prepared at half-time. He's got to be prepared at 60 minutes to go, right, we need to freshen this. Saka's not having any joy. Maybe I need to bring Foden into a midfield situation. I don't know. But he's got to be prepared to make that decision and use those key players that can influence that football match.
No, I totally agree. And we need to also just take a little reality check. We've beat Iran 6-2. Everyone was on the high horse thinking, oh, mate, this is amazing. We played a sturdier team in USA, kind of struggled. Then we played Wales, beat them 3-0, and everyone thought, oh, they were back on the ball, back on that horse again. Bearing in mind, Wales, 3/4 of their squad play in the Championship and
rubbish.
League One.
They were rubbish, mate.
And League One. So we've got the best English Premier League players. The best in the English game, the best players playing against Championship and League One players. So we've got to be beating Wales. It's no, oh, great. No, it's not. It was a good, you only can beat what's in front of you, but we need to just not get too carried away because this next test is going to be totally different. It's going to be even harder than USA. So I just want people to, just be realistic. That's all. And let's see how we go on this game. But it's not in the bag. It's not coming home for yet. Anyway,
this is a big test on Sunday.
Massive test. And people think Senegal is going to be a walk in the park. Just 'cause it's the team in Africa, but they are a solid, sturdy team.